Bucs fans, Bucs fans, Bucs fans. The sweet taste of victory. And you know why, for me, this was a great game? This was a team with a winning record. That matters. Yeah, this team's beaten some teams. They've beaten some bad teams. We needed to beat a team with a winning record, and this was the team that we beat. This is a team that's fighting for second place in this division. This is a good team. Not a great team, but it's a good team. It's got a better record than we have, and they now have the same record as us. Because we beat that ass, and we beat that ass, and we beat that ass. This is a game on paper we should have probably won by 3 points. But we whooped that ass 40-17. We whooped it. It didn't start off the way we expected. The coaching staff did a great job adjusting and figuring shit out. Credit to Coach Bowles and Liam Cohen for figuring out. Mike Evans gets himself a little snifter. He had himself a fucking day. Best game of his season. That's what we like to see. Buccaneers shut them down, keep them out of the 20 mark. Hallmark defense. That's what we like to see. Pass rush came later on. Didn't generate early. They had some good defensive dominance. We worked it out. That's what I like to see. Bucky Irvin showing that he is the best rookie rusher in football. Straight up. I mean, there's no arguments. So let's go down the rack. In the first quarter, both teams score a touchdown. It goes 7-7. The Buccaneers score 6 in the second quarter to the Chargers 10. And then in the third quarter, which is where it all freaking changed, 17 unanswered points. And then another 10 in the fourth. This team, the Chargers, with Herbert, who I think is so overrated, still can't do nothing. It is what it is, guys. It is what it is. I'm not impressed. If this Buccaneer football team could get an elite pass rusher like a Joey Bosa or a Khalil Mack, we ain't just winning the division. We're probably first or second in the conference. We're an elite pass rusher away, in my opinion. Now, you can argue about other things. That's fine. You get an elite pass rusher at Tampa Bay, that defense will do so much more. So much more. You get Antoine Winfield back with Mike Edwards next to him. You had an elite pass rusher, and you have Jordan Whitehead in there to rotate in as well. There's no reason this team can't be knocking on Super Bowl doors. No reason. Got two-headed monster or a running back. Three-headed if you want to add in Sean Tucker as well. Mike Evans still looks like Mike Evans. I think he's got better over the time because he's getting more acclimatized to the game because his injury is starting to quell a little bit better and he's feeling a little bit better. But let's go back and let's look at the stats. We're week 15, and this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team has done everything that was needed. We had a Chase McLaughlin field goal. We probably would have had another one if we really wanted to. Could have extended that to 43-17, which is what I would have done. But hey, who gives a shit? Big Mayfield goes to Rashad White for a touchdown. The Big Mayfield goes from Mike Evans for a touchdown. Chase McLaughlin gets himself a field goal. Mike Evans touchdown. So Mike Evans finishes the game with 2 touchdowns. Look, there's a lot as a Buccaneer fan you can be happy with, right? So let's go on. Time of possession. Buccaneers 36.8 to the Chargers 23.2. First downs, and this is a major talent stat, 24-14. Total yards 506 to 206. We outgained them by 300. They could have doubled it and it wouldn't have made no difference. Passing yards, 283. Rushing yards, 223. That is an elite attack. You don't know how they're going to do it. Penalties, 8 for 7. We didn't win the penalty battle, but that's fine. Total return yards, we didn't win that one. But teams who are usually in front don't worry about fucking return yards. Fucking losing teams worry about that shit. Total plays, 67 versus 48. Yards per play, 7.6 versus their 4.3. Total turnovers is even Stevens. But this Buccaneer football team is looking good. It's another win. Another one to add into the column. We just need Raider Nation to stand the fuck up and not roll the fuck over and win a fucking game so we can get the fucking Failey clowns at a fucking Dodge and we can go, it's done. Because we're going to Dallas. Dallas will be tough because they're at home. But I believe in this Buccaneer football team can go out and get it. We got Bucs, Rays, Bolts. Great win by the Bucs. Bucs team amazing. That's awesome to see. I like to see the positivity that we have in this football team. I love it. Coach Ball shouldn't be fired. There's no reason to fire him yet. There will be conversations that will come up because Liam Cohen will be a hot commodity, and that's the conversation. What about firing mid-season? The conversation is, if Liam Cohen gets touted to become a head coach, do the Buccaneers have to make a decision? Do they continue with Coach Bowles? Or do they go with Liam Cohen and marry him to a really good, find him a Robert Saleh who wants redemption? Me personally, the world is going offense. If I had to, I'd pick Liam Cohen. And I love me some Coach Bowles. I think you could marry him to a Robert Saleh, and I think he would do I think he could do greater. I don't know. It's just my feeling, my gut. And I love Coach Bowles. I'd love to learn Coach Bowles' scheme and be involved in his Buccaneer football team on how he blitzes, his exotic blitzes, his disguises, all those things, because I'm a defensive-minded coach myself. But I see so much potential in Liam Cohen that I think if you leave that, he's going to be a head coach of a team that's going to be very successful in the future. And I say this, I don't know if the Buccaneers will get better. Defensively, they'll probably stay the same. But offensively, we can't keep going through defensive coordinators at this rate and expect the same success. But let's go and talk about a little bit of football on the ground. Let's go with 27 to 22, 81% of his passes, 4 touchdowns, 1 INT, 288 yards, a QB rating of 142.9. Rachaad White, 15 carries for 64 yards. Sean Tucker, 7 carries for 17 yards. And Bucky the Buck Irvin, 15 carries for 117 yards. Love to see that. Baker Mayfield, 2 for 25. Rachaad White got 17 yards in the receiving game for 2. Mike Evans got 9 catches for 159 with 2 touchdowns. Rachaad White getting the touchdown also. Sterling Shepard, just the one I was expecting a little bit more of Sterling Shepard. But I'm okay because Mike Evans did the thing. Ryan Miller, 1 for 1. Bucky Irvin, -4 for 2. Cade Otton, 2 for 24. Jalen McMillan, 5 for 75 and a touchdown. This is a guy who's slowly getting better. Fred Moore. The Bucs just won. Fuck fireballs. Completely agree. But all I'm saying is, if your boy Liam Cohen gets touted, there's a real conversation that's got to happen. I'm not saying do it. I'm just saying the conversation's got to happen. Where do you see the Buccaneers' future, Fred Moore? Let's say this Buccaneer football team we win the division and we win a playoff game and we lose in the divisional run, right? Same as last year. Same record as last year if you want to go down that route. Fuck it. Mirror image. And Liam Cohen is being picked up to be a head coach somewhere else. And I'm not going to lie, I like way more out of Liam Cohen than I ever liked out of Dave Canales. I did not dislike Dave Canales at all. I liked what Dave Canales brought to the table. He couldn't get our run game going, but this dude can. And that might be because he got a better horse and he got some better firepower in the offensive line. But my point being is, what direction do you go for more? And I'm not saying I'm right. I really don't think I'm right. I'm just expressing an opinion. The way the leagues in football are going, teams with offensive-minded coaches tend to have more success. I'm not saying do it. I'm just saying you've got to bear that in mind, and you've got to bear in mind that you're going to lose a stellar offensive coordinator, because he has been a revolution at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This guy had multiple people out and kept this offense ticking. That's what I'm going to say. He's going to be touted for a head coaching job, because if Dave Canales can get one, this dude can. And you now need to have a conversation of, do you keep him? No, I know we're going to get we got a bit of buyer's remorse in the whole Dirk Cutter thing, and I get that. But this is different. This is winning football. This is a guy who's got priors with the quarterback. This is a guy who's got a very efficient offense, who's got our run game back. There's so much more to the table than just, it's basically like the same situation as Dirk Carr. No. But the flip side of that is that Lovie Smith is nowhere near the defensive play caller right now, if you were to compare him to Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles is a better head coach, in my opinion. That being said, Lovie Smith did take a team to a Super Bowl. So, there's that. Going through the comments, and we got Rick Hughes. Rick Hughes is a dude. I met with this gentleman when I went to Florida. I had a whale of a time with him. We chatted, we drank coffee, and I enjoyed every fucking moment of spending with this human being. Statement went abso-fucking-lutely. We showed everybody that this team can win. And we can win big against a big team. But there's that same thing that I always feel with this Buccaneer team, that when we play shit teams, we play down. When we play good teams, we play up. And that's fine, as long as we find a way to win, right? Defense showed up too. Absolutely, they did. There's no shade on the defense. They did their thing. It just took them a minute. And I've said this about, you ever watch Coach Bowles and how he coaches the game? Yeah, he's not a reactionary dude. He's not going to get screamy, shouty. I don't care that he isn't. Screamy, shouty doesn't work. I've seen screamy, shouty coaches fail. I've seen screamy, shouty coaches, and it does nothing. It just demotivates, if anything. To some people, no, paid professional. That's fine. Still doesn't motivate you. If your boss shouts at you, you don't feel motivated. You're not going to go, fuck, I'm going to work twice as hard now for the same buck. No, you're going to time to go fuck himself, and you're like, look it. I'll have a sneaky fucking break, and I'll have a sneaky fucking bag break. I'll have a sneaky fucking check on my phone. Just because you shouty, it doesn't mean anything. We had a linebacker that came to the Tampa. I use this as a comparison because I think it's really good. We had a linebacker that came to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from Michigan State called Riley Budd. And in that, what do we do? Hard Knocks. We were in Hard Knocks. And this guy's like, yeah, we're going to fuck people up. We're going to smash people in the mouth. Fucking the shit. Fucking smash them in the mouth. Let's get violent, boys. Where's he now? Yeah, he did nothing. It was just talk. It means fuck all in the grand scheme of things. Do you know why Bruce Arians did it? Because it's part of who he is. But he's also got a sound fucking football mind. You can't just work off emotion alone. Trust me, Buccaneers fans, if you had a coach on the sideline who got angry about every fucking play that went wrong, and was throwing his arms around, throwing toys out the pram, and fucking throwing water bottles at people and whatever the fuck, it'll get old very quick. First, you'll be like, yeah, he's got passion. For a while, you'll be like, this guy don't know what the fuck he's doing. He's just a fucking testosterone fucking retard. Which is what we'd all think of Dan Campbell if he did not fucking have the success. We just think he's a testosterone retard. Straight up. The success. Coach Bowles, as stoic as he is, as he goes, when a play goes bad. When he has success, we don't give a fuck. When he fails, we want emotion because we want him. We want him to look like he cares. He cares. Trust me, he fucking cares. If you don't think a head coach of the National Football League doesn't care because they don't get flappy on a fucking sideline, you're probably retarded. You probably need to go to a fucking shrink and fucking work some shit out. Being angry about shit does not mean you just care. It just means you're fucking angry. It doesn't mean anything. But let's get into this. Sterling Shepard, 1 for 16. Ryan Miller, 1 for 1. Bucky Irvin, 2 for -4. K. Dotton, 2 for 24. Jalen McMillan, 5 for 75. And a touchdown. This guy's coming into his own, and I love to see it. I love to see our guys step up. And now we've got 2 guys, 3 guys, 4 guys. Let's just marvel at Jason Light right now. Jason and Light we trust. As always. I've never doubted it. We've had bad drafts. We've had nothing but great drafts since. Buccaneer fans, your Tampa Bay Buccaneers pick Graham Barton, starting center, bossing it, looking good. Can't wait to see what he does in year 2. We got Jalen McMillan coming into his own right when the season needs him to. We didn't need him to be great in fucking September. We need him to be good and great in December because he'll pose a problem in the playoffs. That's what I'm talking about. We've got Bucky Irvin, the best rookie rusher in football on our squad. And we have Tyke Smith, probably the best nickel in football right now, how I feel right now. I mean, yeah, you could probably find someone else, but Tyke Smith right now, may the odds be ever in your favor. He did give up the touchdown, but fuck it, I don't give a fuck. Guy's playing lights out. Guy's playing lights out right now. You look at that and you go, 4 draft picks are making huge contributions to this Buccaneer football team. It's Jason Light, man. Jason Light and his staff know how to pick fucking people. Yeah, they picked a kicker once. Yeah, they picked Vernon Hargreaves the 3rd, but people forget that Vernon Hargreaves was considered the second best corner in that draft. The Buccaneers drafted him where they drafted him. Can you be mad that they picked on paper the second best corner, but he didn't pan out? No. Same as you can't be mad that a team picked Caleb Williams. He was touted to be the best. I'm not angry the Buccaneers picked Jameis Winston because on paper he was the best quarterback to go after, regardless what you think of the Mario Jameis Winston bullshit. Regardless, you can get one of them and they both fucking failed, so it doesn't really matter. But we do have somebody waiting in the wings, and I'm going to bring in Louis. My guy, I don't think he'll let me in. Oh, here we go. At this stage, here we go. Louis!
What's going on, brother? What's going on, coach?
Oh, man. That was a game.
That was a game. I'm not gonna lie. The beginning of the game, the Bucks looked good, and something I always preach, and I've preached on you guys' show all the time, is momentum. The Bucks had a lot of momentum right off the rip. They were looking good. They drove right down the field, um, and then those two turnovers happened, and it's crazy because I don't know if you guys were paying attention to the commentary of the game. He was talking about how Baker in the last game threw two interceptions and this and that, and I was just like, oh, this motherfucker jinxed us. And sure as shit, boom, we turned the ball over. Rashad White fumbled. But what impressed me the most, coach, is
Resilience.
the resiliency of the team.
Yes, sir.
Uh, and that was no easy task. And I said it in the pregame show with AJ. I said 95 and 93 on their interior line, on their defensive line, are monsters. And they
Yes, sir.
showed it at the beginning of the game. And I said that I didn't want to see the Buccaneers get behind too much, and they didn't. But what a game by Mike Evans, man. What a game.
Yep.
Not only Mike, but Levante David, the
Yep.
ageless wonder, man.
Man,
What a
I tell
game.
you what. The thing I love about this team is look at the record against this team. The record this team has. They're a winning football team.
Oh, yeah.
That, and we went on the road to go beat them. That means something. And a lot of people don't really realize and understand the context of going on the road to beat a winning football team, how much that means.
Oh,
Right?
absolutely.
It, volumes of how good this football team is. Yeah, I've always said this about Coach Bowles. Coach Bowles will probably concede a touchdown in the in probably in the first drive.
Hmm.
Feel that sometimes his coverages, and this is just my feel. I don't know because I'm not in that room. I don't know this stuff, but I feel sometimes he allows teams to do what they want to do to him just so he can see everything. Like
Yeah.
if you're playing 8 yards off the line of scrimmage, you're playing 8 yards off your guy, you're going to get a crisp, clear look at what routes they run because they have
Yeah.
no, there's no interference, there's nothing in the way. They're just going to run their route, right?
Yeah.
So he gets a
Absolutely.
very, very good, and this is just an opinion. I don't know if I'm right. It's a very good look at what they like to do, and
Hmm.
then he wants to kind of go, okay, that's what you like to do. Watch this, and I am selling this to the fucking hard point. If you get this Buccaneers football team a premier pass rusher, they can do more than just winning the division.
Oh,
Because right now
absolutely.
we look like a team that's going to win the division, probably win a playoff game, and maybe do a little bit more.
Yeah, but you know what the thing that's
Just go.
crazy? You know what the thing that's crazy, Slick, is just that I keep saying all the time, that this team needs an elite pass rusher. They need an elite pass rusher. Diaby looked like an elite pass rusher out there. I mean, it may have not have shown
It
on the
doesn't have to
stat
be fast.
sheet.
It just needs to be harassing him, hurried up
Yes.
throws, making him think. If you can make a quarterback think and make a quarterback scared and make a quarterback go off schedule, that's the whole point of the pass rush. People seem to think it's just sacks. It's not. It's
No,
making him
no.
rush through his progressions. It's making him make silly mistakes. It's making him just throw the ball out early. It's making him run when he doesn't need to run. It's flushing him out the pocket. And sometimes it works for them and they get the rub of the green and they get a few yards out of it. But this Herbert kid, he ain't built like that. He ain't built to
Nah.
extend plays. He is built as a pocket passer. He has got nothing in him
And
more than that.
if you know,
Yep.
Diaby got in there and he was wreaking havoc. Everybody was wreaking havoc. The time, like, dude was throwing the ball off his back foot on the ground, and you just kind of knew
Not
that
bad
that
ankle
was the
too.
beginning
Not
of the
bad
end.
ankle. Make him throw off it.
Yeah, and I believe, and again, like I want to tell everybody right now, just appreciate what we're watching right now with Levante and Mike Evans, because we're not going to see this much longer. You know,
Nope.
we're not going to see another Levante David. A lot of people like to compare him to Derek Brooks. There's only one Derek Brooks. There's only one Levante David. Each played a crucial
Very
part in
different
building
game.
this.
Very different game.
Yeah, different game. But Levante David with what, 2 sacks today? He really set the tone for that defense.
Yes, sir.
Just again anchoring that defense, and nobody's gonna give this defense credit to what Rick Hughes said. Defense showed up to, absolutely. The defense really showed up. They put a lot of pressure on the Chargers. I predicted a 25-17 game. They put up a 40 burger. I'm okay with that. I actually messaged AJ. So my parlay, I did a parlay. So I told myself, no more sports gambling, no more sports betting and stuff like that, because I was losing all the time. So I put a little parlay together.
Yeah, I suck at fucking sports
Oh
betting.
my god,
I get
it's
into my
because
heart over it, and I get too philosophy.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, man. Like I forgot what did I do? I hit on like I think I hit on Mike Evans with 68 plus yards and anytime touchdown. Rashad White anytime touchdown. Rashad White over 42 yards rushing. I hit on everything for $1,600 on a $15 bet. I hit on everything. All I needed was K Dotton 15 more yards. I had him 38 yards plus, and he only got 24. But you know what? I did another bet. I won $150 with the Bucs. So I'm even though I didn't get the $1,600 pot, it's all good, man. I take the victory. And this team is rolling. They're cruising. And Baker looks good. I actually had a discussion with somebody about Baker. I said, you got to kind of put him in the MVP candidate. I don't think he's going to get it just
No, no,
because
no.
of
But
the
he deserves votes. He deserves
yeah.
votes, and
Yeah,
I don't think he's
it's
ever had that like kind of whole voting thing going on for him. And I love it for him. I want to see him. Like Baker Mayfield is probably the perfect quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He personifies everything about the Buccaneers: the toughness, the willing to just have a good time. He's a bit of a party boy himself. He enjoys a bit of trash talk. He fits us so well. I just don't think you could find a quarterback that fits the Buccaneers. I think there might be one, and he's not as good because I think there's only one other guy, and I go down that the guy with the stash who used to be at I think he's in the Raiders now, and then he
Gardner
was
Minshew.
Gardner Minshew. Those
Yeah.
two, they just personify Florida football. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just a little bit. It's just that you need to have that little bit of arrogance.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Plays it
mean,
so well. I used to hate Baker Mayfield and those commercials. And as soon as he came here, I was like, "Fuck, this guy is a fucking dude. Like, he's a
yeah.
fucking dude."
Yeah, I was the same way. And people can go back and listen to the podcast from 2 years ago when Canales got here. I thought it was going to be Canales and Trask, and I wanted to see Trask. I figured because we drafted him, he sat behind Brady, and then they were talking about bringing in another guy to compete with him. I'm like, oh, I wouldn't mind Sam Darnold, and I've been on record on saying that I wouldn't mind Sam Darnold. And then when they signed Baker, I was like, fuck. I said, but I went by all the news and the media and what they were
Yeah,
putting out
sure.
there,
Same
and then
thing.
when I started digging in, I'm like, hey, you know what? This might work. I
The
mean, he's
more
got a little bit of an arrogance. I think he needs to humble himself a little bit to play here. But my main thing was he's got to prove to that locker room that he can take this locker room and take these guys and win some football games. And that's what he's doing. And
he's done that. I think that offensive line lives and dies for him. I think I think he's so popular in the locker room from an offensive standpoint. I'm not too sure about the defense because it's always different, but he is loved, man. And I think Buccaneer fans just enjoy his attitude. Like, you see him make a block or you see him make a run and he's dropping the shoulder. That shit shouldn't happen from a quarterback. But
no,
it's not like he's reckless and he does it with reckless abandon sometimes, because sometimes he is a little bit like, dude, you need to calm down and just chill for a minute
chill,
because you're the
yes,
quarterback. We lose you, you're done.
yeah,
But he's very on schedule when he does that kind of stuff. Like, he'll do it when he's going to the sideline. He'll talk his trash and he'll do his thing. And I have been nothing but a Baker supporter. I think I got halfway through the season. I was like, this might be the guy. This might be the Buccaneers quarterback of the future. And he hadn't done us wrong so far. But people will turn
I knew he
around and
was
say,
the
"Oh,
guy.
well, he threw an interception here and he threw an interception there." Quarterbacks throw interceptions, guys. If
Absolutely,
and
absolutely.
and if you want to get like that, all right. So should Kansas City get rid of their quarterback because he's throwing more?
Yeah,
Less,
he's actually big.
less touchdowns, more interceptions. Should they go and get rid of Baker? Should they go and get rid of their dude? No,
Yeah,
no, 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 no. Yeah, no, people turn around and go, "Well, one's won Super Bowl, get you," but you're comparing somebody who's having a bad season And I'm sure there's people who will have a conversation about that kind of stuff. Like, is Travis Kelce too long in the tooth? Probably. I don't know. But
Yeah.
it's looking like it. And it's looking like they're struggling, but they seem to find a way. And I think that's the thing about, like, people turn around and, Carolina took him to the brink. Everyone's took him to the brink.
Yeah.
You just
Everybody
find
has.
a fucking way. That's the problem. They're
Yeah.
like, they're so Patriot-esque. Honestly,
Yeah.
you look
I
at this
know.
team, they're so Patriot-esque that you can take them to the brink of fucking losing and they go, yeah, fuck you. Watch this.
Yeah. I keep saying that Patriots Falcons Super Bowl was crazy. What was it, 28-3 half,
Yeah.
and you saw it, and we're seeing the same thing with the
No,
Chiefs. I told
no one in their right mind would have turned around like,
yeah,
we're all sat here with 2020 vision going, if he just ran the ball and just burn
yeah,
the clock. Don't fucking throw it, just burn the clock. Don't worry about fucking kicking punts. If you
yeah,
just keep fucking running the ball, even if you don't get first downs, you're still chewing 40 seconds off the clock every single time you run the ball. So you're running close to 3 minutes off the clock, 2.5 minutes off the clock minimum every time. And they just didn't do it. They just kept on throwing. And you're like, what is he doing?
yeah. Right,
Especially
right.
when they looked like they were losing. You're like, now you got to tighten the ship.
Yeah, like prime example of what we've seen today. I Pre-game, I said the Buccaneers need to grind that defense out. Like they just need to run the football, run the football, and run the football. And you've seen it towards the end of the game, how it was just taking its toll. And to have one really good running back on the team is nice. To have two decent running backs, but to have three rotational running backs, you have fresh legs consistently. And I'm telling you right now, I like the Buccaneers' chances. I don't want us to get too cocky and I don't want us to get too arrogant just because of the simple fact that we have what the Cowboys coming up next.
The
And
Cowboys will be tough in their place. I don't
yeah,
care what the people can turn around and say the Cowboys suck or whatever. Cowboys in Dallas will always be a problem. They always
oh yeah,
will be because
but we got a receipt for their ass because they beat us in the playoffs and they beat us on opening day, I believe. We got a receipt for them. I mean, like I said, going back to the whole Baker situation, I knew Baker was the guy week one last year when he stiff armed what's his face and said, "Get your weight up, little boy." When I heard that, I was just like, okay, all right. And then he was just trash talking. And that's the guy that I want leading the Buccaneers. Could there have been such a smoother transition from Tom Brady? Like, because normally, sometimes, like, all right, we lost Brady. Brady's done.
mm,
He's out. He's retired. To find your next quarterback is not the easiest task, you know.
no,
And for the
no,
Buccaneers,
not many people. No, I think if you
no,
look at the history of teams when they've lost big dogs,
unless
so
you're
to speak,
unless
it's
you're
a
the Packers, you know, unless you're the Green Bay Packers, you know, unfortunately, where they just
no, no,
they
that's a fair point. It is a fair point. I mean, they have gone from three different dudes and they
they
know
all worked
nothing
out.
but mostly success.
Yeah. But I'm pumped being because we got Baker for the next 2 years on the contract. Well, this year plus two. And I think he's got it. You got to make him a buck for life, man. You got to let him finish his career in Tampa because that's the guy, you know. And we've never really had a franchise quarterback outside of, you know, at the time Sean King, Trent Dilfer.
Hey, you look
Uh,
at, I believe the person who played the longest amount of time for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, off the top of my head, I believe, who had the contract extension. There's only one quarterback who had a contract extension, and that's Tom Brady.
yeah, yeah,
Only quarterback in Buccaneers history that got a contract extension.
yeah.
So
It's
now we're looking at a different thing, and we're going, could this guy, like, if the Buccaneers sign him and put a 4-year deal in front, or a 5-year or a 6-year deal?
I think that I think they got to take a look at the contract that he just signed just now, and obviously to make cap room, all that. He's made a life down for himself and his wife and his family down in Tampa. Like there's no question about that, and I'm happy he's on our team. As like again, he's not
I
going to
think
get
he
the
also
MVP.
realizes he needs the weapons around him. I think
Yeah,
he's seen the recipe. He's looked at the recipe and gone, you want to win Super Bowls and you want to have success in this league, you don't always have to take shit tons of money.
no,
Take a little bit less, get other guys paid, and then you won't get sacked as much. You're going to have more success because you got better weapons, or you keep the same weapons that you've always built that chemistry with.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, Evans and Godwin. Godwin's not going anywhere. I think you got to get that deal done too. You got to hold on to Godwin.
Hey, I tell you
Um,
what, technically on paper, him being injured actually solidifies the Bucs' position in signing him because they could turn around and go, "Well, no one else is going to sign you.
yeah.
We're ready to make a 4-year commitment to you."
I mean,
But
yeah,
you have
like
to look past this.
absolutely. I agree absolutely because, like I said, I don't think he's gonna get a fair deal. With I was hearing teams float around like the Chargers. I said the Patriots. I don't think the Patriots, the Chargers.
I think he'd be a great Patriots guy if they had Tom Brady. Without Tom Brady, what is the
I don't.
identity of that team though right
I,
now?
I like Drake May. I
If
think
you
Drake
live in that
May's.
area, what is the identity of the New England Patriots right now? Because they used to be this. They have scrappy wide receivers with a quarterback
Yep.
that can dink and dunk it all the way up the field if he has to. Right? If he
Yep.
has to, they all go. They go. What are they right now?
They got nothing, man. Unfortunately, they got
That's
nothing.
what I
And
mean.
you know,
They don't really have an identity.
yeah, I mean, I know this is a Bucks podcast, but I mean, let's talk. I mean, you got when you talk about the Patriots and the Buccaneers. A lot of people don't understand this. They've done many deals like throughout the years. A lot of former Buccaneers have went to the Patriots to play. LeGarrette Blunt, etc. A lot of guys have gone there. I think with the Patriots. It's just they're a franchise now that's had what 20, 21 years of success,
Yep.
and unfortunately just came to an end. And you're in full rebuild mode. I don't think Gerard Mayo's the guy there for the look. When you have a kid like Drake May and you're building your franchise around them, no different like the Buccaneers, you have to have. If you're drafting a quarterback, like the big problem with the Bears right now is what coaching because they don't have the right coach. In order for Caleb Williams to be successful, you need an offensive minded head coach to go in there and coach him. You can't like a buddy of mine who's the co-host on Around the NFL with me, he would love to have Todd Bowles. I said, well, Todd Bowles will do no justice for the Bears. Not saying that you guys wouldn't be good, but it would do no justice. You guys need a offensive-minded head coach.
You need someone who's going to push Caleb Williams' game.
Yeah, like
So
a
someone
Liam
like
Cook.
Holmes isn't going to push his game. You need to go and get
Yeah,
him like a play caller that everyone's like, wow, that guy
yeah,
can design shit. Like
yeah,
you got it,
like a
if
go
they
ahead.
went down the route of going for a Liam Cohen,
Yeah.
that might be a good hire for him, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Genuine.
And then or even like a Ben Johnson. Teams like that, like teams like the Patriots, the Bears, they need an offensive minded head coach. And then you bring in a really good defensive coordinator. And that's where I think they dropped the ball with the hiring. A lot of people are like, oh, we want Mike Vrabel. Again, that's not going to do anything for you. We saw what happened with Mike Vrabel in Tennessee with Will Levis. Not saying Will Levis had any. I don't think Will Levis is a bad quarterback.
I
I
think we
just
saw it with the fact that he never got himself the guy,
yeah.
and the problem was they relied on a running back. So every time they got to
Yes.
the playoffs, they've done the thing that I've always said that teams with great running backs, when they get to the playoffs, if they're running back, if they're a rushing attack back dominant team, they
Yep.
struggle in the playoffs because you're going to go against teams that have good run defenses.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
guess where the teams with the good run defenses end up? You usually end up in the playoffs. So you're going
Yep.
to play against teams who can shut down your run. And now you're going to force a Ryan Tannehill or a Will Levis or a Marcus Mariota to pass you to victory in a playoff game? No.
No,
Not gonna
not gonna
happen. It's
happen.
not gonna happen. He'll do it in a regular. They'll do them in regular season games. They ain't gonna do it in the playoffs where the defenses are so stacked that you need an elite dude. You need an elite dude, and yeah, I just don't see it. I think the best you want to be pass first, but I have the option to run, and I think
Yes.
that makes you so fucking deadly because it's picky poison. And then
Absolutely.
if you have the defense that can shut down, if you can shut down the run, but you can on it, I don't think anyone really can shut down the pass because of the rules of today. I don't think
Hmm.
you can do that so much. People are
Yeah.
always going to have success. Doesn't matter
Yeah.
what scheme you run. You can run press man. You can run fucking cover free. You can run Tampa 2. Doesn't matter. Teams will find a fucking way because there's all it. It the game is designed to be offensive based. Now, don't get me wrong, there'll be games where we see a defense just take over. Of course, it's always going to happen. But predominantly, you're seeing teams gain offense. You're seeing guys who are like bums in from a quarterback position making fucking bum plays that they shouldn't make because realistically, they're a bum compared to the defense they're up against. It's because the rules are built to allow the quarterback to extend plays and make plays because that's what, at the end of the day, that's what the NFL wants. It is
Yep.
exciting to see two teams duke it out in a what do you call it a bomb out, like where they
Yeah.
did a bomb for bomb for bomb trade off. No
Like
one,
we just saw with the Bills and the Lions earlier.
sure,
Like that,
sure,
it was a shootout, you know. So I
yeah,
mean,
a good shootout. Fans want to see that. No one wants to see a 9-6 game win game.
oh no, no. I mean, I don't mind it because being a Buccaneers fan in the early 2000s and the early 90s, man, these games were like 9-3, 6-9. Like they were terrible scores, but it's just because the Bucs have been so bad on offense. And
Yeah,
now we're dominant. And to go back to what you said, teams these
who
I call
remember
them.
the Rams the Rams Patriots Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, what was that? 1916, I think the score was, or
Yeah, it
20
was a
20.
boring Super Bowl. But if you like defensive football, both
Yeah.
teams were doing their shit.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, that was a chess match between Aaron Donald and Tom Brady, man. Nobody could get going. Nobody could get going, and unfortunately, the Patriots at the end, kudos to them, they got another Super Bowl title. But to go back to what you were saying, like, you know, going into the playoffs for me, I like the Buccaneers' chances. Hey, I'm not saying we're going to the Super Bowl by any means, but I damn sure like our chances because none of this shit really matters. None of this shit really matters. What happens in the regular season? When you get into that postseason, man, it's a whole different fucking ball game. You know, and you have all these. I like to call them the regular season darlings, like the Minnesota Vikings and these teams that are putting up all these wins. That's fine, man. You better make sure you can back it up because, like I said, the Bucks were starting to gain traction on defense. You know, I'm not going to say he had a great game, but Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, he made a couple of good stops in the
Yeah,
backfield. Um, and most importantly, Jamel Dean had an
yeah, man.
interception.
He looked good today. He looked good today.
Yes. You know, and I like so I've actually been breaking down some film now. I like sitting into the I sit in the garage, I have a TV down there and it's dark, like a coach would, and I watch the all 22 and I can't wait to watch the all 22 and really break down what the defense was doing, what Todd Bowles was doing, because some of those blitzes that he was calling, those were like
Come
I
on,
didn't
Noah.
even yeah, they're just coming out of nowhere. Like I didn't expect a lot of that. And it's a big part of it is has to do with a lot of people not talking about him, but he fucking shows up. He shows up, man. Greg Gaines, man.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
they got to re-sign his ass, man, because him and Vita Vea together, they're just good, man. And Kalijah Kancey too is really starting to
Those
come off the
space
line
heroes, they
quicker.
just eat people up and they just take up peak human beings and it allows other people to get going. I love it. I
Yeah,
love
and
that. We've got such a squad and we've done a really good job of finding the right people that fit. Like I'm the job that um, Jason Light has done
oh,
to
that's
fill
right.
the squad out with very little funds and the draft picks that he's had because we've been a successful team. We haven't been a great team. We've been a successful team.
Yeah,
That means you usually get not great draft picks. If you look at this football team right now, McMillan is literally starting to come through, and we're like, wow, okay, this kid can play. He's got 4
yeah.
touchdowns. He's got these yards.
He's
He is
setting the tone
shining
early
at
for
the
us.
exact right time. And you
Yeah,
want him to shine in December because who gives a fuck what he did in September? Don't get me wrong,
yeah.
we will love it as fans, but that carries through to the playoffs.
Well, a big thing that was going through X or Twitter, whatever it's called now, was, you know, Odell Beckham. Should we go get
Uh,
him? Should we go get him? And I was telling AJ, he brought it
nope.
up too. Like he was just like, fuck no. And I was like, absolutely fuck no. Because people don't understand when you bring in a guy like OBJ, you're taking away from the development of, you know, Palmer and McMillan. You're lessening their reps. Like, I don't care if he played with Baker at Cleveland. It didn't work.
It,
Unfortunately, it
it,
just
it didn't work.
didn't
He
work.
was old man to fucking turn around and say, "Oh well, look at this play where he didn't throw to my son." Like seriously,
Yeah,
we're doing this.
we don't need
That
that
shows
here.
me the testicular fortitude of Odell Beckham Jr. That
Yeah,
shows me that he has no nuts whatsoever, and he is not willing to get dirty in the trenches. He's not willing to make blocks. He's not
nope,
willing to not have a game where he does not receive the football. And I
absolutely.
don't think he's going to live with the fact that he is second fiddle,
To Mike
maybe even
Evans.
third, to Mike Evans, because Mike Evans and him were drafted at the same time. At one point, Odell Beckham was considered better than him, and Mike Evans, who, in my opinion, has been the constant of the NFL in the receiving game, he has just been consistently great from start to where he is right now. Whereas you have other guys like Odell Beckham started strong and has flailed out a little bit. You have people like Adams.
Devontae
He
Adams. Yep.
Devontae Adams started off slow but got better.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of look at it. But Mike Evans has been the constant from start to finish. He has never been poor.
Absolutely. Yep. And I talked to AJ about this. We talked about this. We addressed this on the show. This young man that I work with, he still thinks Odell Beckham is his talent is better than
How can
Mike's, and
you
I'm
say
like,
that when a team
yeah,
has cut you? Like, come on.
yeah.
You
And
got an elite. You got how many elite wide receivers get cut, and not because of what they've done off the field, because they're just not
exactly.
doing it. You. There you go.
Yeah. I mean,
We know
I
why people like Antonio Brown get cut because they're hard work to have in your locker room. They're too much
yeah,
stress on the team. You don't want that around them. You don't want them to be the example. Because let's face it, when you've got young bucks in your team and you've got young kids who you want to step up, you want them to emulate a Mike Evans. You don't want them to
absolutely.
emulate the fucking guys who are fucking pouting because they don't get the ball.
Yep.
You don't want your kids doing that. You want your kids to be,
No.
I want to be like Mike. That was the phrase back in the day, right? In the 90s. Be like Mike.
Yep.
The phrase
And
in the Buccaneers locker room.
yeah, it's honestly, uh, it would be. I would say cancel the season if they would have winded up signing OBJ. Cancel the season because it's just again you're doing more harm than anything because he's not a
But
buck.
a part of
He's
me is
not a
like
buck.
fascinated to see how it looked, but the real me is like, I don't know how much damage that could potentially do to this team. And I
I
don't
don't think
think
he would show
actually
up.
need it because what has he done since that Super Bowl? Since he won that, he had a great Super Bowl performance. What has he done since then? Nothing.
Nothing. I mean,
He's
he's
done
been
actually nothing.
jumping around
Nothing.
team from team to team. I mean, I thought
He's on the
Miami was a good.
Ravens for a bit, right?
No, I just think he went. He was on the Ravens, and then
Yeah, he went to a guy who doesn't like throwing the football. That
yeah,
was smart.
yeah, and then he winded up with Miami, and I was like, oh, you know what? Miami's probably like a place where he can like reinvent himself. They can put him in the slot. Tyreek Hill's the deep threat. And they have Waddle. That's good. And it didn't work out for
Got
him.
too
It
much
just
talent
didn't work
around him.
out.
Got too much
You know.
talent around him.
Yep. And then again, I'm glad that they didn't even take a whiff of that because that would have been horrible for this team. We see what this team can do. We've seen it. Today is a prime
Yeah,
example. This
smell him.
this wasn't no like easy game neither. Like I see that the score says something, but it wasn't an easy game in the beginning because a lot of Buck fans, including myself, I was kind of second guessing this game. I was like, I don't know if we're gonna pull this one out, especially when I seen Rashad White fumble that football. But I believed
Yeah,
in the team because of this team, Baker, Mike, Levante,
it's
Vita.
built different now.
Yeah, these guys are not going to quit, man. These guys are not going to quit. And you know what? Rashad White, I don't think he came in on that other drive. It was more of Bucky, but Bucky was like, "All right, you know what? I got this." And he blew off some fucking runs. And you know what? Rashad White came back in the game and he ran the football just as well too. And that's key for this team. It shows resiliency and shit like that is going to take this team far. Like I said, I don't care about these records, man. I don't care that people are saying Philadelphia is the best team in the NFC. The Detroit Lions are the best team. Detroit may be the best team, but you know what? We put up an L on them, and I'll be more than glad to go back into Detroit and play them again. We still have we beat them this year, but that one wasn't it. I want to beat them in the playoffs, man. And
Yeah. You know when they
it,
say
it,
those, I hate it when they say, "Oh, the Buccaneers got their revenge." Nah, there's no.
no, that's
When
not
you
the
get
revenge,
eliminated in
man.
the playoffs, it doesn't matter if you beat someone in the fucking regular season. In my opinion, this is just me personally, right? You know, I think it was the Chiefs. They played us after the Super Bowl. They're like, "Oh, the Chiefs got their revenge." Oh yeah. Well, all the fucking Buccaneers are sat there with their fucking rings. I'm sure they went,
Oh
but we
yeah,
beat you in the regular season. No one gives a fuck what you do in the regular season.
yeah, no shit. Like,
All about the fucking playoff.
yeah,
The
absolutely.
Buccaneers will be like, yeah, okay, we got a bit we got a bit of steam off. But we want to beat them where we knock them the fuck out and they're going home. They're going to Cancun for the weekend. They're
Yeah,
booking flights to fucking different various Barbados or wherever. That's what we
yeah,
want to do. We want to fucking cripple them so bad that their wives are there on fucking Skyscanner booking fucking holidays.
absolutely. And like I said, it, that win against Detroit for me, it was
They're
nice.
gonna cripple them.
It felt good, but again, like I said, it just that wasn't it. Like I want to see them in the playoffs, and what we've seen today, I think the Bucks on the NFC side of the ball. I mean, on the NFC,
We get
they can go toe
healthy.
to toe. Yeah, and
We
again,
get
this
healthy.
is
We can go toe to toe for sure. I completely agree.
and again, uh, you see the way this defense showed up today. I'm fucking impressed, coach. I really am. I'm very impressed with the way the defense played. They played very resilient, and I'm not taking nothing away from Justin Herbert. The kid's a warrior. He went out there. He got fucked up that last game, and it showed this game. Levante sacked him, and you can tell. You know what? I tip my hat
I
off
saw
to
the
him.
hope. I saw hope drain out of his eyes at one
Oh
point.
yeah,
This
that
guy is done.
when
He's like, I think it was late in the fourth quarter. And he was like, yeah,
when
I'm done.
I think it was Cansey and Diaby popped him, and I was just like, yeah, that's because he looked a little woozy after that one. But you know who I give a lot of respect to, man, and nobody's really talking about it. Did you see that catch that Mike Evans made, and he got popped? It was a helmet to helmet, and
Yeah,
he didn't go down. He dropped back a couple of yards, but he fucking
yeah. The
he
second one though, the second tackle looked like he was a fucking RKO or some shit. That was fucking crazy.
yeah, man.
But
Like,
anyway,
but
Mike
again,
Evans sprang the fuck back up, and he got the touchdown later on. So hey,
yeah,
we're still hoping Mike can get that fucking 1K as he always does, and be the constant that he always is, and like it is so impressive how this dude has done what he's done. Like I was talking to my wife today. My wife has him on her fantasy in our little fantasy league, and she was like, "How good is Mike?" And I'm like, because she's watched him for plenty of years as well. You know, she always watches the games with me. And I was like, "Babe, he is like he's ninth all time in touchdowns of
yeah,
all receivers of the game. That's how
yeah.
good he is."
What he has? He has 103, right, or 104
103,
touchdowns.
102, something. Yeah, so it's in that ballpark. He is above the top 10 now, and I'm like he has the
Yeah,
Super Bowl ring. No one can really touch him. And I,
yeah.
and I said this to AJ: if he retires, and by the time he's eligible for the Hall of Fame, if no one's broken his record,
You got it. He's
it
got to
would
get it.
be criminal to not let a guy in the Hall of Fame for that.
Absolutely. And
Think,
his
think, think
performance.
this way, right? Let's say Jay Jets becomes the dude he is, right? Mike Evans retires in 2 years' time. You got to wait 4 years, right?
Yep.
Jay Jets is going to get his 1,000 yards or whatever. It doesn't matter. And you turn around and go, okay, this guy's got 1,000 yard seasons. Mike Evans is retired. He's got more than him. He's in the top 10 in touchdowns because I know he's not top 10 in yards yet. He's in the top 30, and that's fine. You've got to let a guy go in because it's top 10.
Yeah.
It's top 10, and his streak is still holding at that point. You
It,
can't turn
it,
around and go, well, there's a guy who
it,
might surpass him. Oh, we're not talking about might. We're talking about now.
yeah.
No one's surpassing him right now. Mike Evans will be a Hall of Famer, guaranteed. If when he retires on the day he is eligible for the Hall, that no one can pass his streak, and no one will. I
Yeah.
don't
And
think it's possible.
again, like what he's done with the consecutive 1,000 yards seasons. I mean, that list that he's on with Jerry Rice and Randy Moss. And shout out to Randy Moss. I'm glad he's beating that cancer, and because he was a pleasure to watch growing up as a kid. But
Mm-hmm.
nobody else has done what Mike's done with the 1,000-yard consecutive seasons outside of Jerry Rice. And I like to think Jerry Rice is probably the greatest of all time to do it at that
Oh,
position.
yeah, it's not even fucking close. Like
Yeah.
Jerry Rice, the touchdowns, the wide receiving yards. But I loved in the broadcast last week. They turned around and said Mike Evans, other than Randy Moss, might be one of the greatest modern. He is the greatest modern day red zone threat wide receiver. I was like, yeah, but that's what he is. He is a possession red zone threat wide receiver. That's exactly what Mike Evans is. He ain't gonna do you the flashy. Like I think sometimes he gets a bad rep because he doesn't get a lot of yards after contact. But people don't understand that most of the balls that Mike Evans snags are jump balls. Guess what happens
Yeah.
when you snag a jump ball? You hit straight on the deck.
Yeah.
You jump up for a ball. The chances of you coming down, landing on your feet, and continuing to run in the NFL, where people are that fast,
Yeah.
he's built to just snag a ball out of the air. He's a top. I call him a top shelf guy.
Yeah.
Top shelf lifter. He going up, getting that shit. He coming down with it. Always got it. But he ain't gonna get you no yards after carry. He's just not what he's built for. And that's fine. You just got to accept that different wide receivers do different things. Steve Smith Sr. can't do the things that Mike Evans does.
Nope.
He can't. Never will.
No.
He was amazing at what he did. That fucking route running, shifty shit that he did was so amazing, and he was so great at it. That makes it, in my opinion, the greatest slot receiver that's ever played this game.
Oh yeah. I mean, Steve Smith was I couldn't stand his ass. He was a Buccaneer
Oh,
killer.
no. He is an opinionated asshole, but
Yeah. He was a phenomenal talent.
The play was exceptional. There's no, I don't think there's ever been a slot receiver that's done what he's done.
No, and to go back to Mike, with Mike, what he will, like you said, he won't get you like the rack, but what he does get you is keeping the drive alive, getting you a first down.
How'd you win football games? You outscore your opposition. Okay. So does it help that you have one of the greatest wide receivers of all time that can catch touchdowns? Yeah, it tends to help. Tends to fucking help a lot.
Oh yeah, it's just it's wild due to all the injuries too this year. For me, it's just crazy because this team should not be above 500. A lot of teams that suffer these injuries.
I think defensively we should have got whooped today.
Yeah,
because they had that early success, and I was like, this could be a long day. When they had that early success, they were throwing the football, and I'm like, they're a good passer of the ball. They're having the success. We don't have the safety caliber to really shut this shit down against such an elite passer of the football. And this football team has found a way, whether it's through pressures, disguises, and just the safest stepping the fuck up, because they have, and doing the fucking job. This team is having success. And the beauty of it is we're having success against a good team. And that means more to me than we can beat the Raiders. You put us against the Raiders all throughout the year, we're probably going to finish at least third. We're going to get 13 wins, guaranteed.
Yeah,
we'll always be a game they tip us on, but I'm saying 13 wins, guaranteed, and then more, right? But you put this Buccaneer team up against good teams and splattering of the teams that we faced. Our record is what it is, and we have been a team that's been competitive in every single game that we've played. And as a Buccaneer fan, you can't ask for more for that. Yeah, okay, we want to win every game. Of course we do. But you also got to understand, being competitive means you're not that far off.
Yeah,
and when you're not far off,
it's not like, and it's not like, Coach. It's not like some of these losses that we suffered. It's not like we got blown out. I don't think we got blown out once this year. And we've suffered some tough losses, but overall, we've been toe to toe.
The Broncos game is probably the worst game we played.
Yeah, and you know what? Looking back,
what the fuck happened there? Like, we played better teams than the Broncos.
Yeah, but looking back now, I'm like, all right, you know what? Okay, I can see. The Broncos had a good defense, and unfortunately, the Buccaneers throughout history have struggled with the AFC West teams. But you know what? Those losses don't define this team. What
That's
defines
well,
this
we're
team
two
is
for two
games
against
like
the
this
AFC
today.
West. We're 2 for 2 against the AFC West, and not only that, Sean Payton seems to have has always seemed to have our number 2.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm looking back at these games now. It's like this is what I see moving forward. I think the Buccaneers are getting better, and these younger guys that have taken a role because guys like Antoine Winfield Jr. have been put on the shelf for a little bit. Jordan Whitehead, like Jamel Dean was out for a little bit. These younger guys, yeah, it didn't look great when they first had to step up, but you know what? I think they're starting to get it, and I think they're really
Experience.
coming in. Yeah, it's finally
Experience.
starting to come together.
You've got to play the game to gain the experience to play the game. You can't just play the game and just be great at it. Not everyone's that way inclined, especially when you're a guy on the practice squad or you're a guy that's an
Yeah.
undrafted free agent or what have you. It takes time for you to become, and everyone learns in different ways. Like I've learned as a coach that you got to attack. If I'm when I coach in 3 different ways. I coach visually, and that's me doing videos on how things should look and how I
Yep.
want it to look. It is recordings of what we've done and how I want it to look. So I'm critiquing what I see with footwork and what have you. And then it's the visual stuff of what I see where I can slow it down and go, all right, guys, we're struggling with this shit. I want you to walk it. And they'll go, but coach, no, walk it. I want you to walk a deep route. Where's the benefit in us working? Because you're going to see how your body moves in slow motion versus that deep route. What do you mean? You're going to turn and you're going to instinctively do what you're going to do. And that's what you're going to do when you do it faster. But the difference is you have time to think about it instead of just reacting.
Yes.
And you build and you build and you build. And I always say when you're building like drills and what have you, and you're building your coaching portfolio, you start with a foundation, which is super simple. Keep it the fucking simple as possible. And you build layers until you build a castle. And when you got that castle, you got that fort, no one can impregnate it. No one's going to fucking touch you.
Absolutely. Hey, man, I'm pumped, man. This was a hell of a fucking victory. This was an awesome game to watch. Again, this is probably by far the most funnest Buccaneers team. Uh, outside, you know what? I'll go ahead and say it. I actually that last Brady year wasn't too fun. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
That
that
was,
last radio was tough, man.
oh man, I got a couple of gray hairs in my beard and stuff because of those games. But right now, watching this Baker Mayfield offense and this
Did you
Liam
hope?
Cohen. Yeah, man,
Did
it's
you hope,
like
man? Did you hope?
we're never out of the game. And again, the resiliency of this team, the turnovers that were caused to most teams, that's a death
Crippling.
blow, crippling. And I said in the chat, I said you cannot do this against a defense like this. You cannot do this. You cannot do this because the Chargers will make you pay. Overall, they were resilient and a huge thing. And if a lot of people want to argue about outside of the Buccaneers media that Mike's really not that guy, go look at the play where McMillan got the personal foul. Nobody flipped out on him. All the leaders, and that's why I say the Bucks have probably one of the best locker rooms. Levante David, fucking Liam Cohen, Todd Bowles. Everybody went up to him and said, "Hey man, just relax." Nobody fucking chewed his ass out. Hey, you can't do that. Relax. And you've seen Mike just taking that leadership role, and that's a huge reason why
Yeah.
this team is resilient.
I, I
And
I always do this when I'm coaching a guy and they make a mistake and I go they come up to me and I'm like, do you know what I'm wrong? And they were like, no, okay, this is what, and I'll explain to them what I'm wrong. What I want to hear is that yeah, I did this. And if the answer they're giving me when I say, do you know what I'm wrong? Is right, then I'll go, do you know how to fix it? And if they say I don't know, then I'll give them the answer, what I think is the answer, right?
Mhm.
If they say to me, I know, and they give me the answer, I go, well, what do you think you got to do? I got to do this. Okay. Yeah, I only speak to you anymore. Go do it. And my final words are, show me.
yeah, and
Show
you
me.
know what? And McMillan showed, and I'm excited to see this kid more and more. Again, it's unfortunate, man, because I wish that we could see this team. I wish we could see this team fully healthy with Godwin, with everybody, man. But you know what? I like this team. I think we're pretty good, and I'm ready to go toe to toe with teams like the Packers or the Seahawks, or the Commanders.
Sure is.
I mean, the Packers are probably the only team right now that really makes me nervous out of the whole NFC
I think
for
it's
some
because
reason.
they're so unpredictable in what they do.
Yeah, like that's one team. Like right now, they're up 17-3, going into the half against the Seahawks. But that's a team, man, that I'm kind of a little weary of. It's a bad matchup for the Bucks, but overall, I still think the Bucks could get it done. But I don't want to talk about the playoffs just yet. We still got a decent amount of
We're
season.
not there yet. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah,
It will come. But first,
I'm.
we got to hope that Raider Nation stands up, shows out, and put those clowns in the fucking ass, and then we can sit there and go, now we're two up. Now we're two
Yeah,
up. So now we can, I wouldn't say, never say relax, but now the Buccaneers know, okay, now we're in control of our own destiny. This team, this Buccaneer football team, if we win the next one, we're putting more pressure on them. And the more pressure you put on them, I guarantee you the Faley clowns will fucking fold like a
yeah.
fucking lawn chair.
Like I
I
said,
hope. I love to see who someone beat the Saints today. Who beat the Saints?
Commanders. That was a
Yeah,
close game,
they
man.
beat them by a point, right? Yeah, it was
Yeah,
19 is 20 or something. Love to see
yeah.
it. Love to fucking see it.
The balance of power in the South has shifted, man. Like I said, the Panthers are getting a little bit better. They're standing toe to toe. I'm not worried about them this year. I think in years to come they might, maybe, but this is still our fucking division. We still run the South,
Yes,
and
sir.
I've been saying it, and I don't really do this. My old lady's gonna kill me, but I don't really drink these. But this is all we have to drink, unfortunately. I'm gonna
What,
do a
what
victory
is that?
drink. It's a citrus squeeze. They're like seltzers.
Okay.
Do you guys have these out there or no? These things,
They exist, but not many people drink them.
yeah. I mean, this is what she drinks. I don't really. I've been on like
I
a.
had a White Claw when I was in Florida. That shit was weird. That
Oh
was
yeah, yeah, yeah. You
weird.
don't want to drink those. Those see, I'm more of like an
I
IPA
felt
guy. Like,
hydrated. Though. That was the benefit of it. I felt really hydrated after it. Like I was
yeah,
like, that's good.
yeah. These are all right. I mean, I don't like to drink too much of these because these give me like a stomach ache. They're like the perfect summer drink. You know what I'm saying? Or like,
We drink
but
cider in the UK in the summer. Hard
nice.
cider.
Like, see, I like IPAs, man. Even though that they're heavy, they get me bloated, but still, I prefer IPAs. But you know what's a victory? And tomorrow's gonna be a victory Monday. And I've been on like a little health kick and been exercising and working out a little bit more. But you know what? I think this is okay. It's okay because we won. We won.
We won. And I
And
say this to all Buccaneers fans: enjoy the fucking wins because it's worth it. It is fucking worth it. But guys, without further ado, it's 2 a.m. in the morning. I gotta go to
oof,
bed. Yeah, man. Um,
oof.
I got work in the morning. I got a 72-hour working week, so I probably won't be available for the aftermath this week. Mainly because it's just gonna be too fucking late for me to do anything. I don't even know if I'd be able to think at that point. But on top of that, guys, tell us where we can find you, Louis. What you got going on, brother?
If you're not gonna do the aftermath show, you can find me on the aftermath show. I'll get on there with AJ.
I appreciate
Um,
that. Hold down the fort for me, bro.
Absolutely. We all got good chemistry, and obviously, I'm very proud to be with Bucks Report. I think we're going to be the premier for Buccaneers media coming next year. I'm feeling very confident about that. But you can find me the Frozen Pirate Podcast, Instagram, YouTube. Check out the YouTube page, like, subscribe, and share it. That goes a long way. We got a lot of cool things going on. We're gonna be making up some T-shirts, some hats. That's all going to be rolled out for the next season. And we're definitely. I know we talked about doing a free jersey giveaway. We're gonna be doing that when the season's over. We're gonna do a free jersey giveaway on behalf of the Frozen Pirate Podcast. And I'll put the details, but make sure you guys follow us, subscribe, and obviously you can catch me here on the Bucks Report. As always, fire the cannons, go Bucks, and fuck the Saints. Cheers.
Love that, man. Okay, guys, that's it from me. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the victory Monday because we all deserve it, man. We all deserve to enjoy a bit of peace, whether you eat your donuts, whether you have some beers, whether you have cookies, whatever. Even if you're just getting laid, it don't matter. Enjoy your day because we got Christmas around the corner. Buccaneers win. They give us a nice little present to start the holiday season. We got one more to come. One more to come. We get that one. The Buccaneer team, if they can beat the Dallas Cowboys, will be rolling. But all sides are looking at Atlanta to see if they can match the fuck up and show the fuck out, because the Buccaneers did it. This is the Falcons' game to get right. They can't get right, their season is fucking done. Stick a fork in it, the Falcons are done. That's all I'm gonna say. Bucs on me, Bucs on free. 1, 2, 3, go Bucs!
I don't know what to